Much better.
Dude, that blows away the marlin.
I know.
Blues on both.
You're owning it. Did it again. So these are 22 CBs, really quiet. Listen, out of a Henry Arms H001L carbine. Now I'm purposely not going to hit steel. Just listen how quiet. Why do you need a suppressor with this? As a pest gun? You can't even hear it.
It's awesome.
Needs a butt pad. Alright dudes, TMPers. This will be a short add-on video to my original Henry Arms 22 lever action review of last month. Maybe you saw that video. And maybe you remember in that video that the gun I used for testing and review here in the Nutnfancy project, how should we say, had a few problems. That's how we'll say it. Yeah, it did. Reliability problems. But I think I represented fairly accurately in that video that the guns, I'm talking Henry Arms 22 lever actions, are excellent. And I think I just got a lemon. I could have sent it back to the factory, got it fixed. But that's just what happened in TNR, in TMP, a lot of acronyms I know, and I brought it to the table. And that video is going to stick out there. Because it's honest, it's truth. But I want to make my truth in TMP as correct as possible. And I knew the guns are excellent, and so I got this one. This is a Henry Arms H001L. I referenced it in that video. It is the carbine version. And I am very happy to report, here we go, drum roll, Henry Arms fans and TMP, you'll love this. It was 100% reliable. Well, near 100% reliable. I think there are a few hammer follows, you know, but I've seen that in several other brands of 22 lever action guns. But let's just call it 100% reliable. This gun. And a fair amount of shooting. We took it out, I don't know, top 300, 400 rounds through it.
Keep doing that.
So, reliable? Yes. Winchester 94-22? Nope. Same gun, like I talked about in that review video, which this is just an addendum video to it. It's going to be short. Great barrel on the Henry Arms. Love that. It is blued steel. Brass magazine tube. We talked about the retention in that other video. American walnut stocks, which are excellent, albeit uncheckered. That would add a lot of cost, however. The sight on the carbine version I actually like a little bit better, at least a rear buckhorn blade. The front is, I think, still a little bit too thick. So we still have that going on. And I think I have some iron sight targets to show you. I can't remember. Blue, not blued steel, but painted kind of pot metal receiver. Or if it's not pot metal, it's aluminum, whatever. We talked about that. And then the internals are cost-saving but effective in most examples. Reference my original review, right? I mean, I posted the 9422 video, and you saw the internals on that. Forged steel, machine steel. You just can't make a lever action like that and sell it for under $300, like $240, $250 these days. It just isn't going to happen. So some compromises have to be made. They have been. I read all your comments too, and I knew the gun was excellent, and I think most TMPers, Henry Arms 22s are excellent. I read a lot of comments, hey, you know, thanks for the vid, Nutton. Mine's been really good, and I understand that. The original one wasn't so much. This one, 100%, we'll call it. This one, as you can see, has a large loop lever on it, which I wasn't so sure I was going to dig it, but I do. Because if you see me shoot all types of lever actions, sometimes, like I said in the original review, I'll come out here on the external part of the lever to function the gun. This one you don't have to. It's got plenty of room in here for gloved hands, for big hands, whatever. It works great. Half cock notch as before. There is no hammer spur for scopes, but if you mount it correctly, you're going to have enough room. So I didn't find it to be an issue with the height that I'm running now. Speaking of scopes, the other one I tested iron sights only, and by the way, that one's been sold. It's gone. And I think the owner did send it back to the factory, and he said it's working great for him now. So that's cool. But I wanted to test this one with a scope in addition to iron sights. And so I just dug in our box and found this cheapo Simmons scope that I think we bought from Notched Shooter Supplies for like 35 bucks or something. It came with rings. It might even be an airgun scope. But it worked great. I think it's just a 4-power fixed. Yeah. And this is kind of a cost point gun. I mean, it's what, $240-ish. So do you want to put a $500 scope on it? I'm sure some people do. Me, I'll put a Weaver or a cost-effective scope on here. This one's not the smallest. You can see it's kind of large for the gun. I don't know if it's a perfect match, but it was paid for. That makes it a pretty good match in my book. And it worked great. The rings are cheapos. They're nothing special. Like I said before, this aluminum receiver will mar up as you put rings on it and mount it or take them off. But if you mount them and leave them, it's fine. Totally fine. Let's see how this thing's shot, by the way. Actually, before I get to that, I want to hit something on POU with this particular version of the Henry Arms 22. And it's huge. Notice how short overall length this sucker is. It is tiny. I mean, it fits in the whole frame of the camera, whereas most of my guns don't. I have to kind of like cycle them back and forth. This one does. Has a just over a 16-inch barrel. So it's right at its legal limit for brevity. And that, to me, opens up even more philosophy of use, especially when you're talking about a varmint plinker, especially when you load it with shorts. Because like we talked about in the original review, those shorts are so quiet. You can shoot the CBs, and they sound like a pop gun, like an air rifle. They're carrying, if memory serves, like 30-plus foot-pounds of energy when they schwack, you know, the pest. And please make sure you shoot just pests, rats, starlings, green light, crows, green light in my book. Songbirds, not so much. Snakes, maybe. Depends on what the snake is. I'm an animal lover. What can I say, man? I don't kill stuff unless they need to be killed. That's just me. But it's a great pest gun. I mean, it's so tiny, and you're carrying 17 rounds of 22 short. If you stoke the mag with long rifles, it's going to carry 12, which is still substantial.
Wow. Am I out of rounds? You can't.
Right? And then remember what we talked about in the original review. I hope you guys were able to find some of these speedy loaders.
These are just full power short.
Yeah, they are the bomb to reload. Now, this is for a full-size lever-action carbine or any tube-fed 22. You're going to have to download them, obviously, for this littler gun. But man, what a light, portable, fast into action gun. Just for all types of pest control, shall we say. On to accuracy. I guess I forgot to write it down, whether it's iron sights or scope. I don't remember. Okay, so this is last month after the review. I was really stoked, by the way, to get this. Because I was like, I know that gun's better. You know, the 22 lever actions from Henry Arms. I was stoked to get this. So here we go. This is Winchester bulk, Federal bulk, a mixture, and this is, I think, 30 yards. Windy desert off the polymer table. That just reminds me. So this is the wind cranking out in the wilderness. You see how it's printing. Good. CCI. Right there, right there. I'll show you some shooting footage, either front or back of this video, because the video is going to be so short. We shot a lot. We really were stoked on this too. We shot plenty of steel with it, Tactical Doodle and myself. This is shooting 22 shorts. Okay, so not a great group there. CBs. Right there. These are all CBs. That's a good group. I really liked having the scope, both for target identification, I'm talking pest control here, and target shooting, because again, that front sight blade is so freaking fat. You put a nice precise set of sights, Williams Sight Company, are you listening? I think the gun would be outstanding. Or like Tech Sights. I don't think, well, they might have for this gun. Tech Sights are amazing. Those aperture sights, they make them for all different guns. It'd be really cool to have this on it. You could put the Tech sight back here on the 22 groove, the 3/8 inch groove, and then you're going to have a longer sight radius than this, but you're going to have to do something with that front blade, because once again, it's yeah, fat. 30 yards, windy desert. This is all bulk. I think I even had more targets, but you're getting the idea, aren't you? I think Henry Arms 22 lever guns are as accurate as any other lever guns out there. 94-22 remains my all-time favorite. Not changing that. But for the money, dudes, oh, win. So here we go. Nutnfancy project. That's your update video on the Henry Arms 22 lever actions. This is the H001L. 100% reliable. Very accurate. Being so small and short in overall length, it again opens up even more portability options to you. Might be a pack rifle, because I think naked it's about 5 pounds. With this particular Simmons scope, it weighs 6 pounds 14 ounces. Still has that really smooth action, the nice trigger, American walnut stock, great blued steel barrel. Just this portion here is where the cost savings is going to occur. See ya.